Hi, and welcome to the 10 square meter workshop. Tell me, do you use boxes like this in your workshop? Convenient, aren't they? You can see what's in them, they hold quite a lot of stuff, and they're quite cheap. What's not to like? Well, quite a few things really. I mean, take the lid. You don't really need it in a workshop. Then there's the space itself. This bottom is actually quite a lot smaller than the top. It all slopes in. And it doesn't go right to the bottom and has pieces projecting into the box. So you don't get an awful lot of volume for the size. And they're of course never quite the right size. You can often jiggle them about so they fit reasonably well, as here, but not always. Is there anything better? Well, the simple MDF box takes the same space, but if you try and fit in the same amount of stuff, well, it just doesn't. It's not just the internal space, it's those rounded corners. They get in the way. And I promise you, that is the same amount of stuff. And I didn't spend a lot of time getting it in. It fits quite easily. And as I said, they can be made to fit the space. These bottom two boxes fit neatly between the hinges and go to the full depth. I'd never find plastic boxes to do that. But aren't they a pain to make? Well, not really. Let's build one. I use what is called 6mm MDF for this. I say called because you usually find it's nearer 5mm, and that's important when you're measuring the pieces. The first step is to cut your sheet up using your chosen method. I shan't bore you with more pictures of me cutting wood. Here are the 5 pieces needed to make the box. And now I'll show you a picture of a cutting list and a diagram of how they go together. Take a screenshot if you want a copy. As you can see, I'm making a long thin box because that's the space I have spare in one of my cupboards. You really can make them almost any shape. I'm using a nail gun for this assembly, but a hammer and panel pins will be equally successful. I usually start by attaching the back to the bottom because it's a straight lining up exercise. Small amount of glue on the bottom. Line it up. And that's the first bit done. And then one of the sides can be attached. Lining up first the end. And then the back. The other side is attached in exactly the same way. Before fitting the front, I'm going to cut a scallop in the top for access. Right up the middle. I like sanding when the glue is dry and it's good to go. I could of course have put divisions in here too. To retrieve the drawer, you can either use a scallop like this, a finger hole, a handle, or a combination with a label holder. You can leave them natural or you can paint them. Deep as drawers or shallow as trays. Shapes to fit any space. Here's one I made to take sanding pads. Now you may be wondering how much these cost to make. Well, a one this size, which is 250 by 200 by 150, moderately large. If you buy me your materials as full sheets from a DIY store, it works out as under £2, a couple of dollars. The pins and glue are very cheap, of course. If you buy it from a wholesaler, almost half that price. I think the phrase is cheap as chips. So, where does the one I just made go? Well, it slots in here. I'll keep welding and brazing rods in there. So, should I never use plastic? Not at all. There are times when they're quite useful. But, in many occasions, a made box is much better. Well, that's all for this time. Hope you found it interesting. Why not subscribe to get more? Bye for now.